All right, I do believe we are going YouTube Live here for the On the Hunt podcast. This is episode 39, believe it or not. That's right, they let us do 39 episodes of this, and we have not gotten kicked off YouTube yet. So we're going to keep going. And tonight we have got all of the fellas here with us, and I'm very excited about that. We have got Reggie Funches. We have got Nick Tucker. We have got the number one Lions fan, Mr. Bobby Bless. And we're going to get things started here by asking Reggie, because I'm like a waitress. I always catch people in the middle of their drink or their eating or whatever. So we're going to start with Reggie. Sorry about that, man. How are you doing this evening, my friend?
Slow motion is better than no motion. That's all I got to say.
I feel like that should be a t-shirt. Slow motion, better than no motion.
Absolutely.
Nate Rucker, how you doing, my friend?
I am alive. I got all my 10 toes. I got all my 10 digits. And y'all can hear me. So
all right. Bobby Bless. I know you and I are both like trying to do the same thing at the same time. We're both sharing links. You're actually getting ready to go Facebook Live, I believe it is. So
we already popping, man. We up and at it on Facebook.
Perfect. So Bobby, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good today, Elijah. Shoot, man. I'm just happy to be not at work and talking to my guys about our damn football team. Other than that, man, just getting through these the dog days of the NFL summer. I'm ready for just to see them walk into training camp kind of thing, you know? But other than that, all is well, brother.
And you and I were talking off the air about the fact that, we only got a couple more weeks where we got to really try to figure out topics to talk about for our team, because then we do get into training camp and we do get into the preseason, and that makes things a lot easier. So while we're waiting on that, though, we do have some topics to discuss tonight. I want to toss it over to Nate Rucker for our first topic, and that is that James Houston has got a number change. Nate, what did you find out about James Houston's number change?
Well, James, as people know, last year, James Houston did not get a chance to, pick his number. And they gave him what they had, and they had number 59, which is what he played under. So he switched that number now. His number is now going to be number 41, which was his college number when he first got to Miami. And also Jackson State was 41 as well. So he's trying to rekindle that, and so, hey, he switched it over, trying to get his inner chi from that number 41. And so he made that switch over. So we're going to see. He got a lot to live up. That number 59 got him them at 8.5 sacks. So...
So, Nate, when a player does that, nowadays, obviously, it means a little less, I would think, because of the fact that players are allowed to kind of have, different numbers than they were a few years ago. But do you think that plays a role in what position James Houston might be used at this year, the fact that he is wearing 41?
I thought so. But again, it's still, it's still just whatever significant number he has. It's still number 41. But again, it is a linebacker number. Now, what we do have a hint of is that the projected depth chart, again, remember, this is early. So this is before training camp. They do have James Houston starting at that Sam linebacker. And that Sam linebacker is one of the outside spots. So you've got the Sam is on the left, which is considered the strong side. Then you have your weak side linebacker, which is the right, which is going to be Malcolm Rodriguez. And then you have your Mike linebacker, which is your middle, which is going to be Alex Anzalone. So, hey, again, it's still early. We don't know what Jake Campbell's going to do, how he's going to shake up that linebacker room. But again, we do have a couple of the linebackers. You still have Derek Barnes, Jake Campbell, and the other Oguara, his name is Julian. Ironically, all three of them each play the identical position. One is where you have two who are prototypical middle, and then Julian is outside. He can play right or left.
Okay.
So, hey, it's good to see, man.
So we are going to have a kind of viewing of that depth chart that Nate was talking about here in a little bit. But before we do that, I want to remind folks to like, comment, and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube Live. If you are joining Bobby Bless's Facebook Live, then I believe you just got to like the video and comment for us. So your job
That's on the hunt page, baby.
Yeah, we live on the hunt. Shout out to Sean Washington. He said, "What's up, everybody?" Everybody knows who Big Sean is.
Now you are a true fan. You are a true fan if you've got us open in 2 tabs this evening. So you can help us on YouTube and Facebook. You are a true fan that way. But Bobby, we want to go to the #1 Lions fan we know, and we want to ask the following question. What does Jared Goff got to do to keep the quarterback 1 position for the Detroit Lions on a permanent basis, in your opinion?
He got to win, man. To be honest with you, as a big Jared Goff fan, probably the biggest on this page to say, I feel like he got to take us to places that I know I seen, but I was real young. We know your young ass ain't seen it, Elijah, and that's a division title. You know what I mean? To me, he has to be the catalyst, the conductor, the guy that they put all the ingredients together, put us to win. And then to be honest, I need him to win the playoff game along with that division too. Because I can say that just the division, but I feel like I need more too. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with the he need to win the division, win the playoff game, and that offense has to continuously be. We can debate if it's top 1 or top 3, but we know it for sure it's a top 5 offense. So if that offense can continue its growth and its consistency and just being one of the better offenses in the league. I was talking to a few people this week about the Lions. I just shoot shit with the Lions with everybody I know pretty much. And they was telling me that the Lions average 27 points a game. That's pretty a lot. That's a lot. So if they can continue that success, and even with these, we're lacking a true, let's be honest, guy to separate the defense. Separate from the defense, can go over the top. He got his hands work. And, he got his work ahead of him. So I hope he's gonna bring his lunch, and I just hope he can continue to be the guy that's just putting the pieces in the right spots. That's with me, Elijah. How you feel, Laura? About it, big dog.
Reggie, we'll go to you next, my friend, and then we'll go to Nate. Then I'll round out this topic. But Reggie, what does Jared Goff got to do to be your guy, the guy that you're wearing the jersey of for years to come?
Well, that probably won't happen anyway. But but to be honest, it's multiple different facets. One, he cannot be the reason why we're losing. If we do lose, he cannot be that reason. So he cannot be turning the ball over in key moments. He can't be underthrowing people when big throws are needed. But if we are winning and he is managing the game, making sure he's not the reason why we're losing, then that works in his favor too. If we're losing and he is not the reason at all, like he's performing and it's our defense, then he's fine. So it really depends on the overall aspect. If you want to look at it with, you want to be objective when you look at it. That a lot of people they'll throw somebody under the bus and say that this person is the reason why we're losing, when that person ain't the reason why you're losing.
Right.
And we don't want to be that way. You want to be objective about it. Understand what his limitations are, because he has limitations. It is what it is. But right now he has all the pieces that you would possibly need to have a successful offense around him. So his margin for error is really low, and his expectations are high. So that could either be, the catalyst to him becoming a really good quarterback, or it could be, the reason why he fails because he crumbled under the pressure. So really, I'm just hoping that we see the guy that led his team to a Super Bowl and not the guy that crumbled and lost his job.
Okay. Nate, what does Jared Goff got to do to be your man? Probably shouldn't have worded it like that.
First of all, he can't start 1-6. We cannot start 1-6. He cannot have a plus turnover ratio. And without Jameson there, and he's going to have to really get everybody incorporated into this offense. So he's going to have to really be a true leader and keep everybody on the same page until we get that deep threat back. He has to make everybody a weapon. He has to make these defenses be prepared and be worried about everybody, not just Amon-Ra. So, I get it. Amon-Ra is going to be, our guy, but he's going to have to utilize these second, third, fourth, 5 wide receivers.
Amen, Nate. Yeah.
The offense can't go backwards. We know what the ranking was. We know what these numbers were. First time this team has ever had 4,000 yards worth of passing and 2,000 yards worth of rushing. So all that goes hand in hand. You cannot go backwards. I mean, granted, there's not much behind them, which is a headache, but hopefully he's preparing and taking it seriously like it is somebody behind him. Because again, he has a rookie back there. He might not be ready yet, but if he want to keep that job, he's got to make sure that they can keep him on the sideline. And that's my biggest thing. Make sure they don't have to rush Hendon, which is a headache. They need to be able to let him heal. You don't want to have to use him at all. If somebody behind him, because again, he does have the bridge back there.
I'm hearing Nate from 2 screens.
That's me. That's my bad. My bad. That's me.
You're good.
That's me.
So, but hey, I mean, sometimes you need to.
I'm messing up the show, y'all. My bad.
No, you're good. You're good.
You're good, bro.
Sometimes you need to hear Nate in both ears in order to really make sure it sinks in. But Nate, those are some good points. And I don't disagree with any of the fellas on the screen, but you know me, I can't have a topic where I don't add something different. So let me add this. All right. Yes, Jared Goff has got to win a playoff game. He's got to separate himself. He's got to do more than just have good stats, because we've had that before.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing, though, that none of the fellas talked about, and it's an off-the-field thing, and it's kind of the elephant in the room, all right? Jared Goff has got to come at a good price, because 2 years down the road, he is going to be up for a contract if they're not already talking about it now. And you've got a rookie sitting right behind him who is very, very affordable. So for the Lions, they're going to come to a point here, this fork in the road, if you will, where they got to pay guys like Aiden Hutchinson. They got to pay guys like Amon-Ra. They got to pay all these talented rookies that we have fallen in love with. And then, oh, by the way, if they haven't already taken care of it yet, they got to pay Jared Goff. So he's got to come at a good price for us. Otherwise, just financially speaking, they could move off of him, and it has nothing to do with his on-the-field play. But what it has to do with is you look at Hendon Hooker and you say he can do all the things that you can do, and he's more affordable, and it allows us to keep these other guys in the fold instead of spending all our money on the quarterback and letting all these other guys walk, kind of like what happened back in the day with Matthew Stafford when they let those guys walk and they paid him. So for me,
I can tell you one thing for sure. They ain't finna pay him that damn $100 million. I can. Look,
well, and that's my point, though. That's my point, though, is that Lions fans, that is something to think about, because 2 years down the road, if they don't take care of it this year, which I think if we come out the gate and we're winning games, you already know Jared Goff's agent's going to be knocking down the door saying, hey, how about we get my fella here a new contract? So that's where I'm coming from on it. Yes, he's got to win a playoff game. Yes, he's got to be the reason, not the reason that we're losing, if we are losing, which hopefully we won't be. But he's also got to be affordable, because if he's not, you move off of him, you go to Hendon Hooker, who can do all the things that Jared Goff can do and has a bigger arm and has mobility.
And college.
Hey, I'm just saying, though,
In college, you could do it.
But look at how the NFL is nowadays, though, Bobby. I mean,
Uh-huh.
when Seattle won their Super Bowl, they did so with Russell Wilson on a rookie contract.
You said nowadays, that's 100 years ago. Like, you gotta get more recent.
Kansas City, when they won their Super Bowl, when did they do it? When Patrick Mahomes was on his rookie deal. So I'm just saying that there's going to come a point where it's going to be, do you want to keep this handful of talented players or do you want to pay Jared Goff? We're not there yet, so don't panic yet. And if he wins the Super Bowl, maybe that's an easy question. Because it's like, okay, we have a Super Bowl winning quarterback or an unproven backup. Which one you want? But I'm just saying, to me, I think the financial side of it is going to be the bigger stick in the mud than his on-the-field performance, because I think Jared Goff's going to keep playing well. But, Bobby, you had something else you wanted to say on this, right?
Yeah, doesn't our success dictate what he deserves, though?
I don't know, because they're,
but you got to remember, though, we're a starving fan base that hasn't won a division title since '93. And matter of fact, we have never even won the NFC North. We won the NFC Central. Right. So so a fan base that's starving for winning, that's actually in the direction of winning, you willing to take that rug under him from the unknown commodity Hendon Hooker? That's what I'm
right. Hey, think about it. We still had Tampa Bay in the division.
Okay, that's a fair point. That's a fair point and a great question from Bobby. And what I'll say to that is, I am willing to do that if I feel like Hendon Hooker is where he needs to be in his recovery, which I think he will be by the end of this season. In fact, if we get in some blowout games this season, it wouldn't shock me if you see him come in during garbage time and actually.
So wait a minute. Hold on, before you even get into it, you trying to say you've seen enough from Hendon Hooker already where if he's healthy, he's better than Goff? Is that what you're saying?
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that what I'm saying is by the end of this season, I think Hendon Hooker will be healthy enough to play, which means next offseason, that's where the competition actually begins. Because right now it's not really competition.
I mean, actually, he's going to be healthy to play before the end of the season. Like they already said he's been ahead. So he's actually, again, when we get into that topic, when we're talking about our quarterback battle, he's going to be there, when we're talking about that second and third, because they're talking about like him being full go.
But what I'm saying is that he's still a rookie this year. So he's going to need a full year to learn everything he needs to learn. And then next summer, that's where the competition really begins, because he now has a year under his belt and he can do some of the things that he wasn't able to participate in this offseason. But my overall point, though, to answer Bobby's question, I think if you get to that fork in the road and you feel like Hendon Hooker can be that dude, and and this is the most important part, it allows you to keep other guys you care about on this roster and not let them walk by moving to Hendon Hooker, then I think you do it, because you get to keep guys like Aiden Hutchinson. You get to keep guys like Amon-Ra. You get to keep guys like Jameson, who will probably be looking for an extension around that time period. So if I'm looking at it and I'm saying, okay, we won a division title. It's the first one we've ever won in the NFC North. That's great. But if we've only won one by the time that fork in the road happens, you move on to Hendon Hooker. That's my opinion.
So basically you're saying sustained winning is the only way to
that's what I'm saying. Sustained winning, and that keeps Hendon Hooker on the sidelines, just like, and I know we hate to bring him up, but just like the Green Bay Packers did in the 90s. When Brett Favre was winning MVP after MVP after MVP and going to the Super Bowl a couple times, all those backups they drafted, they ended up going and playing for other teams. And if Jared Goff,
those backups wasn't shit though. Like we can just be honest, those backups wasn't shit.
they were pretty good though. Aaron Brooks,
only against us. They were only good against us.
I'm just saying though. But my point is though, like in the 90s with the Packers, if you're winning the division on a consistent basis every year, okay, not once and then you miss one, then you do it again. Every year we're winning the division, then Jared Goff, he's worth the money. But like I said, the financial side of it, I think, is the bigger piece to this puzzle, because if it comes down to Jared Goff or you pay Hutchinson and Amon-Ra, I mean, Bobby, like, I know you love Jared Goff, but in that situation, you get to keep
a question for you too.
Who you keeping in that situation? Are you keeping Jared Goff by himself and redrafting the other positions? Or are you saying, okay, I love you, Jared, but if you're not going to come down in price, we got to keep Hutchinson and we got to keep Amon-Ra? Like, what are you doing in that situation?
I got a question. So, just to get my guy Elijah Winfrey, host of the podcast. But anyway, I have a question. If Jared Goff, we're dealing with this because you said fork in the road. If Jared Goff wins a playoff game and the division, you still think he's in the competition with Hendon Hooker for the starting quarterback for the Detroit Lions?
So I think, as I've been saying, I think the financial aspect is the first.
No. I know that part. I get that part, Elijah. But you don't think his success trumps the financial part?
No.
Hey, you know what?
Not at
You
all.
know what, Bobby?
Because again, if you have to pick, and I'll let Reggie go here in a second, but if you have to pick between signing one player, one guy, Jared Goff, or signing Hutchinson, Amon-Ra, other rookies to future deals to keep them in Detroit, I don't see how you can pick Jared Goff in that situation.
What if he's an MVP candidate? You still putting him in the Hooker, huh?
Okay. Is he worth, if he's MVP, is he worth letting Amon-Ra walk or Aiden Hutchinson walk?
Well, I think, first of all, y'all, I think we like truly jumping the gun by a lot.
Yeah, because we need to see more from Aiden Hutchinson.
Well, not even just that, y'all. Let's think about it. Right now, the Lions, when it comes to cap space and the financials, the Lions are top 5 in the league. So, regardless if it's 2 years from now or 3 years from now, I don't think it's going to be. We're not going to be in peril where we're going to have to choose between one or the other. So that's what I'm saying. That's what I think. Like we jumping it a little bit. Like, this ain't, again, the Lions of old, where we remember you were paying $200 million guys. You were paying Calvin and Stafford. Neither one. No one on this team is up to that payroll. Like, Jared Goff won't even be in that type of
if he's
extension
MVP,
when it comes to that
he will
type of conversation.
If he's MVP, he's going to be looking for the bag.
I don't
say candidate. I just say candidate too. I know you don't have to.
Well, here's the thing. The one thing I look at,
let him have a discount.
Well, the one thing I do look at, and what we have to look at the type of mindset Jared Goff has and the relationship that he has with Brad Holmes. That's the key.
Right.
Because number one, so on top of that, you was fucking toilet water. And Brad Holmes still knew you had some juice left. He still seen something in you that nobody else seen.
Mm-hmm.
So that in itself says a lot. So from everything that I've even seen or paid attention to Jared Goff or what he's talked about, he's never he's not one of them financial, hungry guys. He's a very, from what I've seen and from his social media, he's a very humble guy.
You know what the thing is? One, if Hooker is good, if he's showing that he's getting better, he's always going to be in competition with Goff. Like, as long as he's here. Like, that's just happening.
Yeah, that's just what it is.
Foregone conclusion. Because we got to
not all Stafford should have had.
If we sit up here and really think about it, Jared Goff is not the type of guy that you hold up your future for.
That's
exactly.
what I'm saying.
Unless he wins the Super Bowl, if he does that, that's different.
Right.
But you don't hold up your future for Jared Goff. Now, if you were talking about Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers or somebody like that.
So we don't grade on the curve
That's
in Detroit
different.
though. Isn't the Super Bowl
Huh?
us actually winning the division though? We don't grade on the curve in Detroit.
Well, I just
We shouldn't.
We
Because no one else does.
if we want to settle, because right now, like I said, our expectations are extremely high right now, right?
Right.
That means the expectation for Goff is high. So you think that he's
Well,
gonna be
how we
good?
gonna know Hooker good just because he's doing good in practice?
Honestly,
Is that how we gonna know he's good?
We're in a league where health is 90% of the battle.
I think.
What if Goff gets hurt?
I think you're going to see Hooker end up playing in some of these blowout games. Because let me be very clear. It's not that I hate Jared Goff. Okay, that's not what I'm trying to say at all.
I think your faith in Hendon Hooker is too much.
Well,
To be honest,
listen,
I think that's where the problem is.
But here's the funny part though. I'm not even saying that I have immense faith in Hooker. That's not what I've been saying for the last like 20 minutes. What I'm saying is, I'll say it again before we close out this topic. I'm not even talking about Hooker. Everybody's like, oh, Elijah's got all this faith in Hooker. No, that's not what I'm saying. I want to see results on the field before I have faith in Hooker. But what I am saying is, if it comes down to a financial situation where you have a choice, you can either pay Jared Goff the money that he wants because now all of a sudden he's playing really, really well again. And he's saying, hey, yeah, you guys show faith in me. You gave me a second chance. I appreciate the second chance. But now I'm coming into maybe the last contract of my NFL career. I want to get paid. So if you have to either pay him or let these other guys go, that's what I'm saying. I don't know.
Can I ask a rhetorical question?
I don't know if I'm. Go ahead, Reggie.
I'll say this. Does Jared Goff make those around him better, or is he made better by those who are around him?
I think he makes those around him better because anybody else in that situation last year.
I don't think we know that. I don't think we know that answer, because in order to really definitively say that, we had to see him carry trash.
He did.
I'm talking about carry trash to wins. Carry trash to wins. Like we're not. That's a totally different concept. We talk about, and I hate bringing this up because he's not on that caliber. When we talk about what Tom Brady has done over the years, some of those years, like, dog, you see his wide receiver core is. Clearly, this man is making everybody else better along with the system that he's in.
Yeah,
but we also have to, when we're looking at that, though, you have to look at the fact that that defense was abysmal.
Mm-hmm.
The first 7-8 weeks, they were abysmal.
Right.
We lost a game scoring 40 fucking points.
Right.
We lost a game scoring 35. So I think that what he did, he showed, yes, he can carry trash.
He gives you hope that he can.
No. He did it. Again, he's not responsible for the defense giving up 550 yards of offense. That has nothing to do with him. If they're what they're doing again, you're talking about he made, along with the offensive line, they made everybody a threat across the board. 4,000 yards in passing.
With or because of?
No, along with. It's all together. Because number one, it's not like, think about this. When Matthew Stafford was here, we had the king. Golden Tate was what? The king of yak. Like 85% of Golden Tate passes were 5 yards or less.
After the catch.
5 yards or less. And this
a bubble screen was the equivalent of a running guy.
Hold on, Bobby. No, I'm talking about as far as the average from which the ball traveled from Matthew Stafford to Golden Tate. And people swore up and down Matthew Stafford made Golden Tate because he only had this much, but y'all not paying attention. The ball on average was in the air for 5 yards before it got to Golden Tate. And Golden Tate still was 900 yards, 1,000 yards. He was
Embarrassing cat.
top 5 in broken tackles. He was number 1 in yards after catch. That's called making the quarterback better.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
Now, Goff, on the other hand, we didn't throw a lot of screens.
Right.
We threw, that wasn't their main offense. Theirs is about precision passing and getting
Play
to
action.
a spot and the ball's going to be there. That's truthfully Goff doing what he does. Listen, I'm going to make sure I put the ball here, but you have to make sure you run your route there.
Right.
So again, that's a conjoined effort. You see what I'm saying? It ain't like these guys. Amon-Ra was out here breaking 100 tackles, getting 200 yards and all this. Like, no, this is precision passing. This is putting the ball on the line. This is manipulating the defense. This is reading
efficiency.
Like,
he was throwing it to other teams.
Yeah, so, and that's different. That's just Goff. Goff was and is the perfect game manager for what this team needs going forward.
And again, I'm not disputing.
Now, but to your question, the question is, how much do you pay for a game manager?
When you know his agent is not going to be saying pay him as a game manager. His agent
we don't give a shit. We know what you is.
Right.
We know what you is. So what you have to do now, you have to look at the market. You have to look at the market. What is the market?
What I'm saying is that his agent, if his agent is worth his salt, his agent is going to want the biggest contract possible for his guy, unless Jared Goff gets in his ear and says, I'm willing to take less because I want to stay on this team. To Bobby's point, Jared Goff has been nothing but loyal to the Detroit Lions so far in his tenure. He's given no reason for us to believe he's going to want to go anywhere else. But once you start having that success again and you get all these other markets who are looking at you and saying, wait a minute, maybe we had it wrong with how you left LA. He's actually a good quarterback. We're willing to pay him more than Detroit. And because this might be his last NFL contract, that's where I'm coming from. Again,
I get it, but it's going to be
not Goff hate. It's not Goff hate.
He's not even 30 though. He's not even 30 though.
Right.
But
that's what I'm saying. It's going to be
marketed now. If you look at these contracts now, he's 30. Okay, in 2 years he's going to be 32. So his next contract, if it's a 5-year deal, it goes to he's 37 years old, which is generally speaking about the time when people start retiring, unless they're Brady, and then they just keep playing way past the time we all want them to quit. But my point is, with Jared Goff, and this is where Bobby hasn't answered my question yet. Jared Goff, you pay him the money, or you pay Amon-Ra, Aiden, and guys like that. What are you more confident in? The ability to be able to draft guys like what we have right now in the future without needing to keep the guys we currently have? Are you that in on Jared Goff?
I think that's a fair question.
Go ahead.
I would trust Byron Holmes because everyone that you named that Byron Holmes bring in here. And I believe he can do it again. I think the Lions. I think that you underselling how important or how hard of a task actually winning in Detroit is. I think it's like splitting the atom, winning in Detroit. I swear, man. I don't know, man. I think if he does something that's never been done, I don't want him. Well, put it like this. This is the best way I put it. I need to see a lot more.
Right.
More from him than Hooker before I can say, you're going to go ahead about your business.
Okay.
Right. Golf contract is going to be market based. It's going to be because you're going to have other guys that are going to be up for their contract. It's the same way. And then, like for instance, you look at Geno. Geno is a game manager, right?
Right.
And so how much what was Geno Smith's contract?
It's up there, but shouldn't you read?
No, it's not. No, but that's what I'm saying. Geno's contract, if I'm not mistaken, was like 105. $105 million for like
3 years.
like between 4 and 5 years.
Right.
That's
It's 3
nothing.
years.
Is it 3?
Mm-hmm.
And if
Still
and
ain't
if,
it's still
if
ain't a lot.
that's the price
About
for Goff,
33.
Right.
if
Right.
that-
So
if-
that's what I'm saying. So for a game manager who has won, and you like, they did the same thing with Geno. So what it does is it gives us an idea of what type of contract Goff would be in line for. You're talking about a resurgent second chance guy in Geno, who is a game manager, who was Geno. We know Geno's a game manager, who was supposed to have been just a what the fuck. And that Russell Wilson, when he signed, nobody even expected him to do anything.
right.
So it's the
But don't
same
you
thing.
reward
It's the same
Jared
thing.
Goff for winning in Detroit too, though? Don't we reward him for winning in Detroit too, though?
No,
Even
No,
though we
No.
don't, we don't
It's
do
what are
for
our
doing the
expectations?
impossible.
So what are
I'm
our
not
expectations?
rewarding him for
What's
doing
the
his
expectation?
job.
What is the
It's not
expectation?
your expectation. I'm not rewarding him for doing his job. You're supposed to come in, hit the clock, do your assignment, and go home. Don't be late. Do it to the best of your ability.
Right.
That's what that's what he's supposed to do. Now, if he's going above and beyond, that's when we get into the playoffs and things of that nature. That's when we get to thinking about, extensions and things of that nature.
That's what I'm
But
talking. That's what I'm
not-
talking about, Nate. That's what I'm talking about, though. If he's
Yeah,
winning,
I'm
don't
gonna
we
say,
reward him for
again,
that?
he was still the number one quarterback taken. He was the number one player taken. And
So,
again, he's been to the Super Bowl before.
right.
So I'm not going to pay him for winning in Detroit when this is what, you know what I mean? Hey, Stafford, if we pay Stafford, whatever, we went to the playoffs twice with him, didn't win shit.
And all I'm saying is, okay, and
Paid him all the money.
I know that this is getting old as far as me saying the same thing over and over again, but all I'm saying is, before we go on to our next topic, if he wins the division and he is winning on a consistent basis, okay.
What you mean winning on a consistent basis? What's that? What's that?
Okay, so he's got 2 years left on his deal. I expect 2 division titles. That's what I expect. With the roster he has around him, I expect 2 division titles and some playoff wins.
He's lacking that receiver.
So
Just to let you know.
if he does that, okay, if he does that, I think that conversation
Did
at
you
the
just say
fork
he's
in the
lacking
road,
that receiver?
that's
Yeah.
not what Bobby said, but I don't want to go into all that right now.
He is.
That's going to deter me from what I'm
He
trying.
is.
But my point is, okay, if he is winning on a consistent basis, he's winning the division titles, we're winning some playoff games. That
He just gets an extension.
that
You
conversation
sign him.
at the fork in the road is a little different, but it's still a financial thing. And that's again, like I feel like the guys on the screen are not feeling me whenever I'm saying this, but
No, we're getting that. But what I'm
pay-
saying is it's like you're trying to create a conflict that truthfully is not going to be there. You see what I'm saying? Like again, when we're looking at where we are financially, cap space, we're talking about maneuverability. We're not in the bottom of the league, So even still, you don't have to break the bank. Then you're talking about, even if you think about Aiden Hutchinson, how many defensive ends are getting $100 million?
No.
I don't know.
One or two.
Two.
But if
And
he
guess
keeps doing
what?
what he did last year, he's going to be one of them.
I doubt it because
he got 9 sacks.
Again, eight and a half. Listen, 8.5 sacks and 3 interceptions. That's not elite.
If he
That's
keeps
good.
doing
He's
that,
not.
though, if he keeps doing that or better, yeah, he's going to want that type of money. Again, I'm just saying, like I feel like this is a conversation that right now doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but you give it about a year, people are going to be saying the same thing I'm saying, which is if you've got to pay one player or a bunch of players, what you going to do? And Jared Goff, yeah, I agree with Nate. If he has like a Geno type contract, okay, cool.
What did you get into?
But I don't think that he's going to have a Geno type contract. I think that he's going to want something bigger for doing things that have never been done before for the Lions.
When I was looking at Geno Smith's contract was 3 years, $75 million. With certain accelerators, he can get up to 105.
Right.
But okay. Good shit, Reggie. Good shit,
Look at it. He threw for 4,300 yards. He had almost a 70% completion rating. And he also had threw for 30 touchdowns and 11 picks. That looks really Goff-like if you compare it to what he did last year.
Exactly.
And
so that's what I'm saying. So
that's that type of offer, great. But I don't know that you will if he wins a division title that we've never won before.
But again, his numbers, regardless if we win the title or not, he has to have MVP type numbers. Just because the team gets to the division, hell, or if he has the same numbers he had last year, but we have more wins, that just means that our team overall is better. It doesn't mean that he's doing more. So that's what I'm saying. It's like we're creating a hypothetical conflict that, again, I don't think we're going to have. So this is why it's kind of hard really to come with a straightforward answer, because again, we're basing everything on hypothetical.
Yeah, no,
we don't know if Ben Johnson gonna still be the OC, all that kind of stuff too. Ben Johnson, is he gonna still be the OC, all kind of shit.
Right, like
He get hurt start the season off.
There's a lot of uncertainties in that when we're talking about Goff. Again, Ben Johnson, if the Lions offense does what it does again, he was already up. He was already up.
Yeah, he's gonna be gone.
One of the top coordinators for a head coaching job. He chose to come back because he said things were unfinished. But now let's say, hey, the Lions, they win the playoff game. Ben Johnson's gone. Then you get another offensive coordinator. So Goff has to try to learn a whole nother system, all this stuff all over again. So if Jared Goff goes back to the old Goff, was that all because of Ben Johnson? See what I'm saying? We're creating variables that we really don't have.
There's a lot of road. There's a lot of road.
I will throw this out there, though. I will throw this out there. The fact that we even have to have this conversation, it just shows it shows you the caliber of the QB that we have. Like,
true.
If he was a superstar,
if
he was a superstar, we would not be questioning whether we were going to pay this man. That's not the question we would be having.
And that's the point. That's kind of the other point I'm making. That's the other point that I've been kind of making.
So basically, do we pay for a average quarterback, or do we pass the torch to a unknown rookie?
That's
pretty much the question for real.
By the time that we need to make that decision, he will not be unproven, because he will have played. He will have played in preseason games
against third string backups. Okay,
he's not going to be against third string backups. So let me ask you this:
when they blow out, yes, they will be.
So before we wrap this up, okay.
In the blowout, they will be third stringers.
Okay, but what I said was preseason. I said preseason games.
What the preseason?
He's going to be in there against first string defenses, because they're not going to put Jared Goff in there and get him hurt.
Well, not really, not as much. You got to think about it. Like, so unless he's starting that one, and again, even in the preseason, it's only one series. Like, let's be realistic. There's one series where you have your first string guys, because remember, there's less preseason games.
Mm-hmm.
So
if Goff come in and get hurt, then
you're really not gonna see him, because there's only one cut. There's one cut to 53.
Right.
And his position is solidified. They know what they're gonna do with him. So what you're really gonna be seeing, like Bobby said, unfortunately, is all the other guys. You're gonna see a lot more second, third, fourth undrafted guys is what he's going to be battling against.
And see what I'm saying is,
I got a question.
Okay, let me go first here, and then I'll go to you, Reggie. So What I'm saying is, in the preseason, it's going to be a lot like what the Packers do and what they've been doing for the last few years, which is Aaron Rodgers don't play. Jordan Love gets all the reps. That's what's going to happen.
I don't think we do that. We
No, we don't do that. Golf, they gonna let golf run that thing
I don't
until.
think so. I don't. If we win the division this year, then next year, Hendon Hooker is the one taking all the reps in preseason. And the reason why I say that is because they are not going to want to risk having Jared Goff get hurt in a game that don't mean nothing.
They the same risk now.
Want to see what Hendon Hooker can do, and that's when they're going to have their best chance to do it.
That's what I said. That leads us right back to that to the hypothetical thing. Like, we don't know. Like, again, we don't know who's going to be. We don't know what coordinator, because if Ben Johnson leaves, then you're going to have to play Goff, because he's going to have to get on point with the new offensive coordinator, with the new receivers, and make sure. So again, and there you run into a chance where you don't see Hendon Hooker at all as much as you think you are, because of that. Because so that's what I'm saying. Those are things we have to revisit when we get there, because everything we're doing is just hypothetical. So it's like, okay, that's what I'm saying. So it's we can't say yay or nay, because the true factor is Ben Johnson.
So I will go on.
I got a question.
Yeah, so I will go on record, then I'll toss it to Reggie. My record here, July 11th, 2023, because y'all know when I say stuff, like, I'm fine with people going back and saying Elijah was wrong on that, okay? But July 11th, 2023, I'm going to promise you two things right now. Number one, some Detroit podcast or Detroit radio station or Detroit Lions fan site, whatever you want to say, one of them is going to take the topic we just spent 20 minutes on, and they're going to do a whole fucking article over it, okay?
Oh, we know that. That don't count.
Second promise.
Is water wet?
If Jared Goff is still here in 2 years, the conversation will not be about his on-field play. It will be about the money we are paying him. Those are my two promises to you, because he's going to keep playing well. He's going to keep being a good game manager, even a great game manager. Mm-hmm. But the conversation is going to be, how much do you value that? Or do you let
they better value that shit?
Do what he's got to do. Reggie, you had a question to wrap us up before we move on?
It was a question combined with a thought. I'm thinking about this situation you got between Goff and Hooker, right?
Right.
And I'm really thinking about what happened between Alex Smith and Mahomes.
Right.
That ain't Mahomes. That ain't Mahomes.
They ain't the same.
Get my thought off, and then you can talk about it all you want.
Okay.
When you got somebody like Alex Smith, who was winning, he was also considered a game manager.
Mm-hmm.
He was actually somebody you like. Alex Smith. He's a good dude. He can get you some dubs. Yeah, you might make the playoffs, but can you win the big game?
Right.
So my question is, when we think about, and I'm just using that as the main example, but other examples where you have a QB that ain't great. He's not weak, but he ain't great. And a guy comes and takes his job from him. It doesn't always happen on the field. It's usually what they're seeing behind the scenes with that we don't get to see.
Right.
Because when you think about Patrick Mahomes, all we were hearing is, hey, man, they really like this kid going to take my man's job. And you're like, based off of what? We don't see that.
The 55 touchdowns he threw in consecutive years.
And he was number 10. He was the number 10 pick.
That's what I'm saying.
Hey,
he was the 10 pick.
When Alex Smith was the starter,
Patrick Mahomes,
he threw for less than
only thing you heard was stuff coming out of training camp.
No, but
they traded up to get Mahomes too. You got to add that too. You done gave up draft capital to get this man in the top 10 picks in the draft. He going to play.
Right.
When did he draft him?
I think you're missing the point of the conversation. The point of the conversation is some dudes are just what they are. They are what they are. And if somebody's better and they come up behind him, a lot of times we're not going to see it immediately. Right. But you're going to start hearing rumors. You're going to start hearing stuff like, hey, man, I know y'all like Jared Goff. I know he's winning games. I know he's getting us to the playoffs. but I know this man is not going to take us to the promised land. And we're willing to make a change to somebody else.
Not saying, they're not even
we're willing to make the change to somebody else because he's just not good enough. That can't happen.
No, but that's what but you have to look.
And it happens in the league a lot.
But you have to look at the difference, though. That example right there doesn't even fit. Because, number one, Alex Smith never passed for more than 3,000 yards. Ever. That boy, that's Alex Smith, when you look at Alex Smith was fucking terrible. Alex Smith had the right people around him. That boy, wasn't nobody impressed with Alex
the right
Smith.
people around him. He was playing for a shitty.
Smith went a whole season without throwing a single. Alex Smith went a whole season without throwing a single pass to the touchdown pass to a wide receiver.
Right. All his shit went to running backs and tight ends. Come on.
Yeah, that is no.
My question is,
he didn't throw for 4,000 yards.
That is not a good comparison.
Kansas City.
He has thrown for 4,000 yards. Let's throw that out the way.
Alex Smith is terrible, dude. That is not
his record. I'm looking at this record, though.
Yeah, look who he played for.
It ain't the Alex Smith part. It's the Hendon Hooker Mahomes part. Ain't no way. Ain't no damn way. Ain't no damn way.
That example does not go with this example.
It does, though. It
doesn't.
And this is the reason why.
No, it don't.
This is the reason why. This is the reason why. I'll tell you. This is the reason why that example works. This is why I love Reggie Funches, because he's my backup.
No, he don't. Listen, Alex Smith didn't complete.
You want to know? You want to know?
He didn't complete a pass to a wide receiver.
You want to know? You got to let me tell you if you want to know.
He didn't complete a pass to a wide receiver.
It ain't about Alex Smith. What I'm saying is Hendon Hooker, Patrick Mahomes. Here's the deal. All the time that Reggie was just talking, y'all were in left field, okay?
Yep.
What Reggie is saying is, and Reggie, you correct me if I'm wrong. What Reggie is saying is when the Chiefs drafted Mahomes, nobody
Trade it up. Trade it up. You gotta add that too. You gotta add trade it up because they have to give them commodities to get him.
Y'all gotta let me talk now. Come on now.
Go ahead. But it's not the same thing.
When he was drafted by the Chiefs, sure, they traded up for him. I'm not denying that. But the only people who saw what Patrick Mahomes could be was the Kansas City Chiefs. Everybody else was making fun of them for the first 2 years for picking this cat. Because
he wasn't.
I
don't remember that.
No, he wasn't. He threw for 50 touchdowns in college.
Go back and watch the footage. Because his first 2 years there where he didn't play for Kansas City, he was a backup. Everybody said, what in the world are they looking at?
Yeah, he was back up for one season.
Guys, come on now. I'm trying to get words out and y'all interrupted me. Let me stop here. Here's my point. When Patrick Mahomes was with the Chiefs, when they drafted him, when they traded up to pick him, everybody in that room said, we didn't expect this to happen because he was the kid from Texas Tech who had a big arm, but not much else. And a lot of people thought that the reason why he was successful was the system he was in, not because he was an absolute beast of playing football that we know about now. So what Reggie is saying, and Reggie, correct me if I'm wrong, is that for the Kansas City Chiefs, okay, they saw what we didn't see in the practices and everything else. So while everyone else was making fun of them for what they did, they were sitting back going, we know what we have. We can see it when everybody else can't. Reggie, is that right?
And I'm just using that as the extreme example. That was the extreme example. But I will say this. They went 9-6 1 year. They were 16th in offense. They went 11-5. They ended up becoming 9th in offense. The year after that, they became 6th in offense. This is with Alex Smith at QB. They draft this kid. You had Alex Smith for one more year where they were 6th in offense again, but they didn't win. Mm-hmm. And then you start seeing more Mahomes, more talk of him taking over. Them talking about getting rid of Alex Smith.
Right.
So that's all I'm saying. Not you want to take it because it's Mahomes and Alex Smith. I'm really taking the example of the players that were involved in the situation of the coaching staff around those two players.
But I think y'all underselling the value. I think y'all underselling the get this young man. Well, if you trade somebody up, that means that it's more likely it's pressed to put him in, regardless of that. Hendon Hooker ain't a first round pick. I forgot what round we got him in, honestly. So it ain't that much of a demand that he see the field. Man, backup quarterbacks make just as much as Hendon Hooker would make. So just because he on the roster don't mean he's
Bobby,
I'm
gonna let you take this with you. It's about what the player does in play and not where he was drafted. And that's a pointless part of that conversation. What he does in play.
Well, here's
that job from him. Dictates
Mahomes. They traded up to get. They traded up to get Mahomes. Mahomes set 1 year, and his very first year starting, the man threw 50 touchdowns, which equaled what he did in college.
Did you know he was going to throw 50 touchdowns his first year?
Oh,
did you know that?
Again.
Did you know that?
Again, this is the same thing he did in college. His play was the same.
Did anybody know that?
This is what I'm saying. but again, his play was the same. So this is why I say they traded up to get him because of his arm talent, because everybody was in love with the arm talent, because he had all the similarities to Matthew.
I don't know what happened, but we just lost Nate there for a second. He'll come back. I think it's signal. But after Nate finishes what he's saying, we are going to some other topics.
Yo, I don't know what's going on.
I'm not
working
sure,
on something.
I'm listening to you though. We're
listening.
Doing that. But that's all I'm saying is.
Don't you blame me. I'm
doing that, Nate.
I'm not doing hands off the controls. I'm not doing nothing to Nate's mic.
Okay. So
I'm on my phone.
Okay, so Elijah.
Yes, sir.
Elijah.
Yes, sir.
So, where was Hendon Hooker at as a freshman? A freshman in college.
Virginia Tech.
So, as a sophomore, he was where?
Virginia Tech.
As a junior, he was where?
Tennessee.
Then he came out, right?
Yeah.
So my thing is,
I'm not going to agree with you, but go ahead.
But again, you had a guy who, yes, he had a good year at Tennessee.
2 good years.
But you cannot compare again. But you cannot compare him to what Patrick Mahomes did at Texas Tech when he did it every year he was starting.
That's not what I'm saying.
No, not
you.
No.
Zero to do with the conversation.
No. What I'm saying is, this is why you cannot compare these two. You can't use the Kansas City versus Detroit thing. They're not even the same.
But we're not.
And again, Patrick Mahomes set 1 year. They automatically knew that they was getting rid of Alex Smith. He had the fucked up ass leg injury. They knew what they were doing. Like, no, you can't predict. So one of the deficiencies of Alex Smith was arm strength. You have Tyreek Hill. Yes, you were perfect for Travis Kelce, but you got the fastest guy in the NFL. You had two of them at the same time.
Couldn't even get on the ball.
You had Tyreek Hill, you had Marco Holman, and you had Demarcus Robinson.
He only had 1,200 yards receiving and a 16-yard receiving average. But I mean, yeah, he couldn't get them the ball.
Hey.
Oh man.
I
mean, is that what we doing?
No, that's
so Alex Smith broke the record for not completing a pass to a wide receiver the entire fucking season.
A touchdown pass to no wide receivers the whole year.
No wide receiver.
That's when they decided to draft him.
Man, y'all, I promise you, y'all are gonna go back and rewatch this episode, and you're gonna be like, "That's what we were." Because Reggie was saying one thing, and y'all
not
were
that
Man,
hard.
y'all so off the wall. I don't even want to watch y'all part.
So you know what I'm gonna do?
Enough.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna find other examples so that doesn't have to involve Mahomes being an MVP. And then
Please don't.
Right.
No homer. No.
While you do that,
I'll go from there.
While you
Yeah.
we're
You need
gonna
to find something that's very more comparable. Because that ain't
I don't
it.
need you to tell. I don't need you to tell me what I want.
You should have did
I'm
any
doing
given
it
Sunday.
because y'all can't let
Jamie
that man
Foxx.
talk.
You should have said Jamie Foxx over fucking Mahomes.
Not really mean it. Stop it now. Anyway, so okay, we're gonna move on to another topic because we spent entirely too long on that. But we do have apparently
Jared Goff too booty to be having this conversation this long.
We do have. Come on, man. Anyway, so we are
Jared Goff too booty and Hendon too hurt. So
listen. The life of a Detroit Lions fan right there. Anyway, hey, so let's move on to the depth chart. I'm sharing my screen right now. I hope that it's working as I'm doing that. We'll see. Let's get anybody?
Oh
Okay.
yeah, we good. We was waiting. It was lag. We good now.
Man, yeah, I'm telling you, this system is doing some of everything today.
All right, so we got
I was just reading that.
We got a depth chart, which is probably way too early, but we got a depth chart.
Yeah.
Here. This is from lionswire.usa today. Look for them to talk about the subject that we just talked about for a very long time, probably in the next 2 or 3 days. I promise you. Anyway,
Please.
Let's start
You
off.
still shooting shots, Elijah. Okay.
Hey, I'm just saying they always like to steal our stuff. Anyway, defensive ends. This is the projected depth chart. Nate, take it away.
Yeah, so this is the way they have it. Again, this is pre-training camp. No, this is no injuries. This is basically off of what they're coming off of, what they seen last year, and integrating new guys or whatnot. Of course, we start with the defensive line. We already know Aiden's going to be moving around. It doesn't matter if it's right end or left. The true thing is that who's going to be on the opposite side. Right now they have it at John Kaminsky, which to me, John Kaminsky best position was at defensive tackle last year. But again, we're loaded at defensive tackle. And as Reggie and Elijah point out a lot of time, is that Aiden played a lot better when he was next to Frank Kaminsky. I mean John Kaminsky, not on the opposite side. So I think they have to relook at that again. You're talking about, production and favorable matchups. So then they have Charles Harris, who should be healthy. They have Romeo Oguara and Josh Pascal. The Romeo Oguara one, I'm kind of suspect on because to me, I think he's one of those guys that's going to be fighting for a roster spot, one of those on the bubble guys. I actually think both Oguara brothers are, but they have him in front of Pascal, who again, as we see, the Lions are favorable with these third round picks. He was very good in college. When he played last year, he definitely was. He definitely had some good impactful games. When he was in there. So that is our defensive end projected depth chart through Lions Wire. What do you guys think about it? If you could cut one of those guys, would you cut either one of them, or would y'all keep it? That's the question.
So I can't see anybody on the screen, so I'm just gonna ask names here, and I hope y'all are ready. So let's go. Let's go.
You have Aiden. Okay.
Oh, you mean get rid of
Bobby?
Yeah, Romeo.
Yeah.
That's the kid that's always hurt, right? Yeah, that's the one that 95 is Romeo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the one. Shit, he had to go. And that's who I keep because I've been King Charles Harris for years since he was at Missouri. So when he's healthy, he shows that he can get to that quarterback with that spin move similar to Dwight Freeney. but he's just like Romeo. They always hurt. So if I had to flip the coin, I'm gonna pick the guy that I've been studying for years, and that has been Charles Harris. So I'm liking it. But John Kaminsky, he's not in the middle no more. He ain't gonna be in the inside of there no more. He's gonna be on the outside now. Is that what they doing, or they're gonna be looping?
That's according to Lions Wire. This is their projection. They have Kaminsky opposite Aiden Hutchinson on the opposite side, so he's going to be starting it in according to them.
Where James Houston was.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh, I don't know. No comment. I'm done.
Okay. Reggie, your thoughts, defensive ends.
Romeo out of there. If I had to pick somebody to go,
I believe so, yes.
Romeo out of there.
Okay. Any other thoughts on defensive ends, Reggie?
Kaminsky and Aiden, I want to see that as much as possible. With Pascal, I want to see, can he take the next step? Not what Aiden and Houston did was extreme, but being viable behind those guys, I want to see how good he is. And Charles Harris is Charles Harris. I don't got a problem with Charles.
Agreed.
Okay, Nate.
Well, yeah, me it's Romeo. I can say
Yeah.
I got him. I got Romeo battling for a roster spot. So
Yeah.
So for me, I'll end the defensive ends by saying this, which I think is echoed by everybody else here. Where art thou, Romeo? Not in Detroit by the time the season comes. So,
Assholes.
hey, come on now. We'll keep it moving. Interior defensive line. Okay, there's 4 of them here. You got Aleem McNeil, Isaiah Buggs, Broderick Martin, and Levi. We already talked about Levi a couple weeks ago, so I'll just say for me, I think that's kind of the question mark of the 4 defensive linemen. But if I think that we're going to carry a position heavy this season, I think it would be defensive line that we carry heavy. That's just my personal opinion. Nate, what do you think?
Again, this is one of the ones I think the Lions are high on Levi. They want to give him a year. You know, he's supposedly healthy. Coming out of Washington, he was one of the best 3-technique defensive tackles. So the ability was there when he first came out, but as we know, man, injuries can really take a toll on you. So with that one, I have to see a little bit. I honestly, out of that bunch, I wouldn't cut anybody. I would keep that rotation the way it is. But I would put Broderick Martin on the practice squad, and I'm putting Frank Kaminsky on D tackle.
John Kaminsky, you mean?
John Kaminsky. I don't know why I keep saying
Frank Kaminsky, that's the basketball dude. I'm like, who the
Go quick, disrespect Kaminsky.
Yeah, because dog, I got basketball on the brain too at the same time.
That's right. So, Bobby.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Nate for real, because I for the life of me, I don't understand why Kaminsky is on the end. So I just don't understand that. And so if I cut Levi and put Kaminsky in his spot he supposed to be, I don't know. But I got to see it first, because I'm just so surprised that they got Kaminsky on the end this year, being that Aiden Hutchinson flourished so much when he right inside of him, as far as like, you know, creating the ones-on-one. So I don't know, man. I'm kind of disappointed right now. So I really don't have a good take on that defensive line. Being like, what the hell are they doing?
Yeah, I don't think them guys knew what they was doing at all. They probably didn't watch a lot. They just came up with some shit.
Yeah.
They definitely didn't have Reggie's numbers, that's for sure.
Oh, that's
Reggie, should pick him some numbers, man.
a fact.
All right, so Reggie, right? Sorry, guys, I don't have like a list of names in front of me, so I just want to make sure I don't leave anybody out. Reggie, you didn't go yet, right?
No,
Yeah.
we got you.
And when it comes to them 4, I think all of them stay. I don't see there actually being necessarily a battle. I mean, Broderick's going to be on the back end of it because he's a rookie, but he's going to be there. So with the four of them, I'm just looking to see all four. I'm looking to see the impact of all four.
Okay. I think for me, if I had to make one change, I would agree with Bobby. I think Kaminsky should be a D lineman or interior D lineman. And I'm surprised defensive end wise. I know we're going to get to it here in a second, but I'm very shocked that Houston is not one of the defensive ends. Because to me, Houston and Hutchinson, I would have loved to see that on either side. Maybe we still will. But let's move to the linebackers here. My goodness, here we go. Alex Anzalone starting Mike, Malcolm Rodriguez starting Will, James Houston starting Sam, Derek Barnes, Jack Campbell, Julian Aquara. Nate, we'll go to you first. What do you think about this?
I think that they based that off of a 4-3 set. That's a 4-3 setup when you have all three of them out there like that. So I doubt I haven't seen no indication that we're going strictly back to a 4-3. As far as I know, we still doing the 4-2-5. So I don't know. But again, this is live wire on Lions Wire. But with that, there's no way I would have James Houston standing up and have him in coverage. It's no way. Not saying he doesn't have the ability, but if I'm have a choice between Jack Campbell and Derek Barnes, them two will be starting where they're standing up, coming downhill. So again, this is another funky one, like the John Kaminsky one. So I don't, but I think at the bottom, Elijah, they put something in there, and so.
Did we lose Nate again?
Yep.
Yeah, his stuff was choppy anyway.
All right, so I'm trying to see what Nate was talking about. He said the bottom.
We got storms right now in Michigan. So.
Oh, okay, got it. All right. Well, if he
Can y'all hear me?
He returned. He returned.
Hey, look, I can hear y'all. I just can't see anything. But anyway, at the bottom, they put why they went with that type of formation. They gave their own explanation. So again, I'm not keen on it. To me, it's just as wacky as them and Kaminsky as a defensive end. So yeah, Bobby, you can. Oh, there I go. Back up. So what they said was, I could see rookie linebacker Jack Campbell earning the starting job at the Mike, but the Lions have shown that they're willing to ease certain players into certain roles. I could see Anzalone, being the starter in the middle of the defense. Okay. Who cares? Them guys just don't know what the fuck.
Yeah, I don't like who wrote this article. It's
I don't like me either. Yeah, go ahead, Bobby.
Yeah, man, I don't know, but I honestly, nothing against Anzalone. I want to see Jack Campbell in the middle first game, first thing. But as far as on this defensive side, not even the defense, the front seven, man, I'm so confused about what they got going on. I got to actually see them hitting in the pass to even really get a good perspective on what they're doing. Because on paper, I'm so damn confused. I want to smack the writer. So he turned this to. Let's talk about secondary. Fuck these dudes.
All right, so Reggie, before we, as Bobby so eloquently put it, fuck these dudes. I'd like to put your opinion in. So Reggie, what do you think about?
Oh yeah, I forgot about Reggie.
That's how Bobby feels. That's how I feel.
Okay.
Yeah, and they this ain't it, man. I don't know. This ain't it. This ain't it.
It ain't it at all.
Yeah, hey, we gotta read these articles before we just present them, man. Because these dudes got they tricked us this time.
Oh man. Okay, so just real quick before we move on. For me, like I said, James Houston to me is a defensive end. I think Jack Campbell will be out there. I don't see any reason why they would draft Jack Campbell in the first round if they're not expecting to play him. So everything I've heard about Jack Campbell, granted it is without pads, but everything I've heard about him is how great he's doing. So why would you have him do so great and then have him not play at all when Malcolm Rodriguez had such great success? And I do believe we have the same linebackers coach. So it would lead me to believe if you can get that type of production out of Malcolm Rodriguez in his rookie season, why can't you do the same with Jack Campbell? Just saying. Moving on.
And why is James Houston standing up too? Somebody got to answer that too.
Yeah, I don't know. But you know what? I got a feeling that Lions Wire is going to get a knock at the door tonight sometime. Cornerbacks. They got Cameron Sutton, Emmanuel Mosley, CJ Gardner-Johnson, Jerry Jacobs, and Will Harris. Let's go to Nate first. Nate, thoughts?
Hey, before they start, Nate, don't dog Will Harris. I know you're going to cover for him. Don't do it. Don't come for Will Harris. He actually been doing good. I know you about to come for him. But go ahead, Nate.
I wasn't. But again, I don't know. Like again, tired of Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is what he is. He is a Swiss Army knife, but again, his best position is safety, and we run the 4-2-5 with three safeties. I'm not understanding what these guys are doing. Like I'm so confused.
You gotta see him on precinct, man.
Our three safeties are again. So I think they're basing this off of a 4-3 defense, and yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay, do we even continue with this article, fellas, or should I take it?
No, fuck that.
I got one more thing. Jerry Jacobs, you better ball because you're talking a lot of shit in the press. So I don't want to see your ass on the sideline when they hit. So just want to let you know. Because Jerry Jacobs talk about they gonna shock the world and stuff, boy. You poking at the bear, man.
Well, I'll give Jerry Jacobs credit. Jerry Jacobs talk the talk. He's been walking it pretty good. Last year was up and down. Last year was up and down, but again, I don't think everything was Audrey Pleasant as they made it out to be. I think it's truly just Aaron Glenn's stubbornness.
Yeah,
and just not willing to switch out of certain shit. And we seen after when they got into that winning streak, we seen a lot more switching, a lot less of that all-out blitz that his ass was doing, and shit looking stupid. So I was like, dude, how do you give up? Who was that? That was who did Rashard Penny play for?
Yeah, was Seattle, yeah.
Yeah, that was it. Man, they ran off every time he put that dumbass all-out blitz. They took it right to the house. The same hole. Every single time. They was like, Aaron Glenn's going to blitz again. Touchdown. And then it's just so fucked up that, that they offed Aubrey Pleasant. But as I'm saying, I don't think that everything was him, man. All of that bad play was not Aubrey Pleasant.
Somebody had to go. They was looking too trash out there, though. You had your one boy, number 24, he in the trap. And they was whack, man. They so trash.
Okay. Is Aurier on the roster?
No. Well,
no, he's with the Giants.
No. I'm saying, I'm talking about on a roster in general.
No, he's with. He on the Giants, I thought. Yeah, he is on the Giants.
You better put some respect on his name. He is the greatest special teams player to ever exist. Warrior.
Well, that was a track stop.
I thought that was Miles Killebrew.
Oh,
my God. He couldn't cover.
You're gonna see both.
He couldn't cover. Miles Killebrew couldn't cover. He couldn't even make his bed.
You are gonna see Killebrew and a Warrior in the Super Bowl this next year. Section something, seat number. Anyway, moving on. Let's go on to, I believe, our final topic, because we threw out the depth chart. Nate's got to repent for that, because he's the one that gave me that link. It was like, we got
him the benefit of the doubt. We didn't know that shit was gonna be so whack. We didn't know it was gonna be whack. If you
Yeah,
would
man.
have
Man,
Minus
and that's my point.
point.
And you
minus
know what?
5 points.
That's what happens when when you rushing, just trying to, and really just trying to get,
Give them
get
the
our show
benefit of the
up and
doubt
going so
not to mess it
people
up.
actually know.
Yeah.
Hey, look, people can tell the difference when we actually have took the time and actually got our shit together versus
No,
me just
don't
trying
tell
to
me
throw some
that.
shit together. That shit was fucking terrible, bro.
That
I
was
own
bad.
that.
That was
That
bad.
shit was fucking awful.
Admittedly.
They whack.
So
They
hey,
so trash.
by the way, though, that's the type of quality that people pay for. By the way, people pay
Yeah.
for some of those articles just to get them and go, "What the hell was that?" So anyway, be thankful we don't charge
Man.
for free entertainment for greatest admission price.
Man, they put Kaminsky at DN and
Y'all didn't see where they had
James
Jack Fox.
standing up in coverage.
Hey, they put Campbell on the bench. We just drafted him in the first round. They put Campbell on the bench.
Y'all didn't see where they had Jack Fox in that article.
No.
They had Jack
Oh, I
Fox
seen.
at center.
I seen.
They had him starting at center.
You gotta
Jack
watch
Fox.
him. Don't do that. Don't ever answer Elijah's question.
They had Jack
Y'all
Fox
ain't see.
at center. He was gonna snap
Man.
himself and look deep. Anyway, let's go to our last subject here before I get my ass in trouble. So we're talking wide receivers, okay? Wide receiving core outside of Jameson Williams, because we know the situation with Jameson Williams at the moment. Outside of him, there's some other names there, and it's kind of an interesting situation. So Nate, can you run us down, or I can run us down because I got the names here in front of me. We have North Carolina, Anton Green, who we drafted in the 7th round. We have Josh Reynolds, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Khalif Raymond, Marvin Jones, Tom Kennedy, and out of Eastern Michigan, he seems to be a preseason darling, and I say that with respect, by the way, Dylan Drummond, who has made the most out of his opportunity. I'm just curious, fellas, and Bobby's the one that came up with this topic, so we'll start with Bobby. Who do you think makes this team, Bobby?
I didn't get that German kid. Now I gotta look up his film. But I'm gonna say Anton Green. He's 6'2" with speed. We kind of lacking that kind of size and speed. He got a great catch. Yeah, he got a great catch radius. I to be honest with you, I'm questioning his route running ability at Carolina. I didn't see a lot of detailed route running, but I did see he's he'll go get that ball in the end zone. He's I don't like 50-50 balls, but he's a contested catcher. He got strong hands, and with us, I don't even know who's our top red zone target, to be honest. I know we got guys to get the ball in the end zone, but I don't know we got a designated red zone guy. So we missing that. Maybe Marvin Jones. He's always been pretty good in the red zone. So I'm voting for Green because I did a lot of research on him, especially that he was picked in the later round. I think it was 236 or something like that. So I'm always interested in it because it won't be a surprise if he was not to make the team because being drafted so late doesn't guarantee a spot. But I think with us being down Jameson, he has an opportunity to put something out there on film that will really give him a chance, not only to make this team, but to make anybody's team. Because when you're 6'2" and you run that fast, people watch. So that's who I'm betting on. But the Drummond kid, I'm interested about him because I like Mac football. So I'm surprised I didn't even get hit to him. So Reggie, good looking out. I got some homework now.
Reggie, if you're still with us, if you want to go ahead, my friend. I think he's still with us, but I think he got up for a second. And Nate got up for a second. So I guess I'll go and hopefully they'll come back.
Go.
So for me, Antoine Green, I hope I'm saying his name right, by the way. I never want to say anything.
Antone, I think it is. Let me look at it. Antone.
Okay, so I'm going to go with Antone because that's what Bobby said. I like what I saw of him at North Carolina. However,
me too.
I'm not gonna sit here and bang the drum like I've been a supporter of his ever since he got drafted. Because I'll be honest with you, we did a subject on this show. What was it, like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, about who's going to be the second wide receiver, and I never even mentioned the kid. So I kind of feel guilty about that because we didn't talk about him at all. So maybe he'll end up being that guy. He does have the speed for it. So if he can do the route running and things like that, maybe he'll end up being that guy, that surprise for us, like Amon-Ra was, because he was a receiver in college, but this year was stacked at receiver in the draft, so he kind of fell behind a little bit because of that. So, but
he made some plays though, Elijah. He did. I watched this film. He definitely made a lot of like good, strong touchdown catches. You know, in the red zone. I would love to see his blocking, but it's just the only thing I hate about watching college. You don't see the detailed route running, so you don't know what he's really capable of doing. That's the only thing.
And a lot of that has to do with where they put the cameras on the broadcast, because a lot of times, one guy and they zoom in on that one guy, and you don't actually see the routes until they do the all 21 film, and then you see the field. You know, but often fans like us don't get access to that type of stuff.
That's why I can't wait till preseason to see what these guys do.
Yeah, but again, for me, I feel guilty for not talking about Antone, and I hope he makes the team, and I hope we get to talk about him for a long time. That would be really cool. As far as the other guys are concerned, Josh Reynolds, I think Josh Reynolds has a job for as long as Jared Goff wants. That's his guy. Amon-Ra, obviously we love Amon-Ra. Khalif Raymond, I don't know, man. Like, I said it last week and it started a huge debate about it, but I was like, if he was going to be that dude, I think he would have already had that opportunity to do so.
He was all pro kick returner though. He was all pro punt returner. So he got a spot.
I think that's his spot. Like what you just said. I think that's that's his biggest contribution to this team is that. And the reason why I mentioned that is because it's kind of a fork in the road again. If all he contributes is kick return game and somebody else can do more than that, he'll lose his job. He'll lose his job. Because like you look at Chicago is the only team that I know of who has ever put so much value in their kick return game. And that's because they had Devin Hester and he was basically their offense. So
I used to hate him. Because he's so good. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I used to be like, dude, you are literally helping them by kicking the ball to him. Dude, I want to go for it on fourth down and to kick it to him.
Yep.
Be honest.
And like I said, outside of the Bears, I've never seen any other team put that much value in the kick return game, especially with how the NFL has changed kick returns now, where it's almost more beneficial for you not to return the ball at all than it is for you to actually try. So for Cleveland, if he's not doing some big things in preseason this year, he could be, unfortunately, a bubble player, because if that's all he can offer the team, we need our receivers to do more than that.
Yeah, so but he was all pro. He was the best. He was the best at what he do. I love the Detroit Lions, and I love where the direction we headed. But the cut guys after being among the best in the league, I don't think we made it to that part of the year yet. And that part of the franchise. Yeah.
I hope we're not. I hope we don't do that. I like Khalif. I really do. Yeah. As a person,
he always stick around. He always around.
And he was one of the original pieces of this rebuild. So if anybody should be here when we have success, it should be guys like Khalif Raymond. But again, if you're looking at it and you're having to make a decision between a guy who the most he does is kick returns for you, or a guy who can do some you can find other people to do kick returns. You got to find somebody who can catch the ball, run great routes, things like that. Maybe Khalif will do that though, because this is, and again, we said this last week. Before Khalif became a Lion, he never really had the opportunities that he's had in Detroit. So,
and he had some clutch passes last year too, because I'm thinking about the one in the Giants game that was pretty clutch. We needed too.
So maybe this year he comes.
That was a punt.
Maybe this year he comes in and he surprises everybody with his route running and things like that. That can get better over time. Speed, you can't really teach that per se, but route running, you can get better at that. I mean, even like I don't want to start a controversy when I say this, but even Calvin Johnson, one of the knocks on Calvin Johnson when he first came into the league was he's a big target, he's really fast, but they got to work on his route running. That was one of the things they kept saying about him at Georgia Tech. And they did.
Yeah.
They worked on his route running. He got it fixed over the course of him being here fairly quickly. So,
here's how it is. You see that baby giraffe running down the field wide open? Yeah, they just throw it to him. Yeah, right. No matter what route he's running. But
yep. Tom Kennedy, and that's about it for my guys. But if I had to cut somebody, I would say Khalif Raymond or Tom Kennedy. I could see them not being on the roster if we have to cut somebody. But I don't know because we might carry heavy in that position. We'll see.
Yeah, they're going to have to. They don't got enough.
Reggie.
Where's DeAndre Hopkins?
He's still on the DeAndre Hopkins train.
Ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else got off at the second stop, but Reggie's hanging on.
I didn't.
I'm waiting on the breaking news.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Okay, so we joked about it off the air, but I guess we got to bring it on the air. Apparently, DeAndre Hopkins, he's going to sign a deal with the Lions. You just got to wait for Reggie to put the Wayne State University check in the mailbox, okay?
Happening. I just got my approval from the Board of Governors. It's going down.
Man. See, we got to start putting out fake stuff like that because then when people steal our content, they'll look like real idiots for doing it. They'll be like, Wayne State pays for DeAndre Hopkins to go play for Detroit.
Man, they dogged us about the Jamal Williams. Pat McAfee stole our stuff this week.
It came out of check.
Yeah, he did.
So
Pat McAfee stole our exact topic.
If you had to cut somebody, though, from the receivers we currently have on the roster, Reggie, who would not make the team?
It's going to be Kennedy. And the thing about
they always cutting him.
The thing about Khalif Raymond, Campbell loves him. like we can't understate, the coach loving you, and as long as you're doing the job that he requires of you, he gonna have a job.
Right. Okay. Nate, you're the last person to go on our last.
Kennedy.
Oh yeah, don't forget about my guy's shirt too.
Kennedy. Tom Kennedy's out of there. He's always out of there. And
they can cut, boy.
You won't. They won't replace him with. They won't cut him over Khalif Raymond for the simple fact Khalif Raymond can return punts. He had our lone return for a touchdown. He's a known special team guy.
He was our first team all pro.
Yeah. So they're and yeah. So nah. Bye Kennedy.
And they cut that boy. He done got cut more than the motherfucking state. Boy. Chop him up.
Before we go to our closing remarks this evening, we want to show you, because we gave away a free JMO shirt. So we wanted to show
you. On the way, Nate.
We wanted to show you that the shirt actually made it to the person. So let's go ahead and do that right now. I believe everybody can see it on the screen. Bobby, tell us a little bit about this fella here.
Oh, that's my guy Shane, man. He been my Facebook friend. I met him on Facebook for about almost 10 years now. Me being so crazy before the podcast, and Nate probably know this, but with that Detroit Lions merchandise, everybody, a lot of people get in contact with me on how to get stuff or where did I get it at, or that kind of stuff, and change it, or and believe it or not, it's not always me showing people what Lions stuff I got. A lot of times they buy stuff and look, Bobby, do you got this? And a lot of people give me ideas of stuff to buy and tell me where to buy stuff. So Shane has become a real friend, and it was cool to be able to give him this T-shirt. Good guy, good Lions fan. You know what I mean? Like I always not me, Nate. Nate said you can talk all you want about how much you like the Lions, but where you put your money at? And Shane is definitely one of them guys that buy Lions stuff to show his pride. And it was good that I was able to get his T-shirt like that. And Nate, your T-shirt on the way. So it's real. You probably have it by the end of the week, brother. So I'll make sure you get G'd up too. Reggie, I'm gonna get you a blanket, Reggie. I don't know if we got your size. We're gonna get you a blanket.
We're gonna have
We ain't got enough.
West Coast
We
beef.
ain't got enough X's, Reggie. We ain't got enough X, man. We
Oh my
only got
God.
2 X's. You need a couple more, bro. I'm gonna get you a blanket.
He said,
You know?
I ain't got enough X's. You stupid.
Yeah, we
Man.
ain't got enough. Walmart only got the couple X's, man. They don't got. I know what you need. I got
Yeah,
you.
you're always getting on to Nate about his people. You need to talk to your people about adding, when they say big and tall, it goes to 3X and up. Thank you very
Man,
much.
hey, Walmart don't got it.
Listen,
You
y'all,
not got a big and tall section. They
y'all,
don't.
y'all used to have the smiley face, and now all of a sudden you're just an asterisk. Okay, so you need to talk to your folks at Walmart and get them to help us out.
Look at like this smiley face. Where do I got it over here?
Yeah, you gotta
This
turn that
smiley face.
upside down. You gotta turn that upside down, because every time I go in there to find a shirt for myself, I end up leaving with sadness.
You gotta come. You gotta come to where I work, Elijah.
Toledo? That's an
Yeah.
8-hour drive for me to get a shirt. Come on.
I'll give you a Walmart gift card for your trouble.
Ooh, I get to send them Bobby
He
bucks.
said, it
Them
was
Bobby
like
bucks.
Toledo.
Yeah, he did. Don't be talking about
Bobby
my
buck.
town, Elijah.
Hey, listen, I'll take your money and I'll bless them all over Toledo. Okay, I'll just
We're gonna
be.
put. We're gonna put a sign on our bridge. Elijah Winfrey was here.
That's right.
Had the
That's right.
mayor take the picture with you. It's gonna be Elijah Winfrey Day.
That's
All
right.
that good stuff.
With Bobby Bucks. Bobby Bucks. Anyway,
Yeah.
so let's get to our closing remarks here. We're gonna start off with Reggie Funches with closing remarks. Reggie, go ahead.
When does the season start, dude?
Man, who you telling?
I love you guys,
You're so funny, damn Reggie. Reggie is funny, man.
but I need some football, man.
I agree.
It's getting there, man.
College football is around the corner.
Yeah, and the new Mac about to come out in about a month too, so it's coming.
I need some
Bobby.
Bobby. Need some Bobby bucks.
Need some Bobby Bucks. That's right. Hashtag Bobby Bucks.
No, because you gonna use Bobby Bucks to get the Andre Hopkins. No, I'm not
That's
funneling
right.
that.
That's
No,
right.
I'm not funneling that. Nuh-uh.
He gonna fall.
You better get some food stamps.
If Bobby was a Mortal Kombat character, okay, if Bobby was a Mortal Kombat character, his number one move would be called Bless Him. He'd just be walking around blessing people.
I kind of feel like y'all coming for me. Is this what I'm going through right now?
No. I'm seriously though. Like if I had your money, Bobby, I'd just be walking around.
Oh my God!
There you go. Bless him. Bless him.
If you had my money, you probably have a Subway gift card. I got one for you.
So let's go to Nate for closing remarks as Nate takes a bite of whatever that is that looks delicious.
Probably something rich. Some rich folks eat.
No, it's almond chicken. That's it. Yeah, man. It's just I just can't wait for football to start. For real. I can't wait. But again, this is what episode 39. And we never thought we was gonna make it this far. You know, it'd be nice if people actually would give our show credit before they steal our shit. But you know, that's just what people do. But no, man. But I'm enjoying this journey, man, with y'all. And you know, Elijah, when we put it together, say, hey, I got a couple of guys, man. We gonna rock it out. And we've been rocking it out strong. Love you guys. You guys have become, you know, family. This is just what we do. So, closing remarks. Go Lions. Go family. We on y'all ass.
Go family.
Bobby, I don't know if you get closing remarks or not, but I want to make sure I give you
No, man. I like this more what Nate said and Reggie said, man. I'm ready for some football. I'm not talking like Hank Williams Monday Night Football ready for some football, just ready for some football. You know what I mean? So that's about it. Yeah, like I said, Nate, I'm probably mail your shirt off on I don't know when it comes. It might be here Friday or so. I got you.
Okay.
So you can free same off.
Hey, look, what I need is the On the Hunt white one because I got the patent leather white Jordans to go with that shirt. Exactly.
Where mine at?
So you need the huh?
Where mine at, man?
Man, you too big, man. I can't.
I'm talking about my Jordans.
Hey, just so you guys
you got some On the Hunt Jordans. Them ain't real. them fake.
So
it's real in my mind, Bobby. It's real in my mind.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm looking on the Hunt Jordans. Them fake.
Closing remarks from me. Two things actually. One on the business side, one on the hunt side. So business side, we should be seeing more merchandise for our movies, but also for the On the Hunt podcast soon. I've just been very, very busy lately. My wife actually helps me out with designing that merchandise. Bobby's been great, by the way. Bobby's been great, like designing the different things as well. But we're working
but I use Cassandra's logo. That logo is so good, man.
Yeah, so we
sure.
will be having some merchandise coming out soon that you guys can buy to help support the show. Again, we'll let you know as soon as that's up, though. Right now, it's just movie merchandise, which, hey, I mean, if you want to check out the movies, I'm not going to tell you not to. But again, the On the Hunt podcast merchandise, it is coming soon.
On the Hunt podcast.
And I do just want to say, kind of echo what Nate said, I mean, 39 episodes. It's not easy. I know we make it look easy. It's not easy because there's a lot that goes into this. And we're just thankful that you guys are along for the ride. I'm thankful that I found three folks who I consider family members to be able to do this with week in and week out. And like I said, as long as y'all keep enjoying it, we'll keep doing it for you. So with
Mama, we made it.
with all that being said, hey, as I always end the show with, be good to yourself, be good to others, in that order. We'll see you soon. For Reggie Funches, for Nate Rucker,
I'm
for
on TV tomorrow.
Lions fan, Mr. Bobby Bless. Hey,